Hello, welcome to Tumbleweed and Timberborn. I'm supposed to say that backwards. I hesitated there. I'm supposed to say that welcome to Timberborn and Tumbleweed. But anyway, so what we're doing is we're building this little section here. I don't know, why was I building that? I don't know. Because we're going to move our industry up here. I think I did that. Because I was going to... Oh. Yeah. I think I was waiting for this, for us to get enough science to learn this, and then we were going to do 6 that direction. Yeah, I think that's what we were doing. All right, well. You have planted all that you need. You... Yeah, we want to cut all this down and not replenish it. Were you... No, okay, I was going to say, were you replanting? So what you're doing? Give our beavers access to this stack here. Oh, that's not what we wanted to do. All right. I think we're recovering on carrots. Yeah, I remember we went over 40, which means we were... Well, we went over 30, which means we were... I think this can... One fully staffed, efficient farmhouse can support 30 beavers. Okay. All right, now let me plan this out. Yep, we're going to just have to have a jig-jag in a road. All right, what we want to put up here first, that is not that. Well, nope. Right. Yeah, we don't really want to do this. I want to have my road go here. Have the logistic stuff go here. So what we really want is a 5, I think, here. But what we can do is we can do 4, 5, 6, right? So we can get that ready. All right. Of course, I can't build this because I put all that on pause. Oh, look like two of them racing. Uh, Okay, we're currently full of plank, so let's stop plank production. Thinking we could probably also stop. We have 148 metal. And my apologies if I come across kind of dull today. I'm just not feeling too well. But we'll just sit here and watch the beavers build. And swim in the Lido. Yeah, there's something going on. I don't know what. I must be fighting something. I have on my right hand a wound that was a very deep wound that I got when I was probably like in middle school. If I don't really recall exactly. Took forever to heal and bothered me for a long time, but it hasn't like bothered me since probably my senior year in high school, because I mean it never bothered me when I was in the military. um, but lately, for a couple weeks now, it's been bothering me, like as if like it feels like it used to in his last stages of healing. So it's hard to explain. Tried to say explain and pain at the same time. Hard to explain the pain or the feeling that it has, but yeah, it's been starting to bother me. And the odd thing is, it's like around 11 o'clock every night, if I'm still up, it starts stinging, and stays that way till I fall asleep. Then when I wake up, it's not bothering me, and it doesn't bother me usually throughout the day, but today it was bothering me this morning. Not when I woke up, but when I was eating breakfast, it was bothering me for a short while. Then it stopped bothering me. So I don't know. I mean, that's odd that after all these years, it's starting to bother me again. I think it definitely means I must be fighting something. I don't know. Must be something going on. All right. Well, we finished all that. So now my question is, where am I going to run my power? I suppose, let me pause. I can do this. No. Yeah, we didn't want to do that anyway. I was thinking about building a path across there to make it easier for them to build, but that probably would just leave them open to getting wet by bad water. No, yeah, we don't want to do that because we're actually going to be raising this wall, so we don't want to run our power this way. What we could do, though, is run it down. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. You know, this is all going to be temporary anyway, so I'm instead going to not go this way. No, no, stop with the choosing the item behind as well. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the power come out of here. Yeah, okay. Might be easier to come here. And so we do that. We'll pause this and this though so they don't run around there and get stuck. Then we dynamite this. All right, very good. No, we don't want that because we're going to put stairs there. I was going to be highly annoyed if he had gotten stuck there. Highly annoyed. Like so highly annoyed, you need an oxygen mask to breathe. That's how high it would have been. I was going to build, platforms across the top all the way here, but we don't need to. Just build a stair there. But I'll go ahead and build this platform because, why not? See, now if I built a zip line station, nice. I don't know why I paused it. All right, so now I just need to get up there. Must ascend the peaks. If we go like this. Oh! Look at that perfect match up to the road as if it was planned. This is just a diversion until we get enough science to be able to learn the 5 here, and then we'll get back to this project of moving our industry. So because what we're planning on doing is raising this up to level with the top of the mountains here so that we can, and then we will use that to build layered water wheels so we can have because this will be our power source over here. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got to pause that. Because we know beavers will get stuck back behind there. All right. Well, while we are watching the beavers build, I'll tell some more chisma, some more gossip. So, I'd mentioned the two neighbors behind me. So the way our neighborhood's laid out is on my road. Okay, there's my road. Then behind me is the neighbors that I was talking about. And on their road, their houses are offset so that our houses are in between their houses. So, like the back of my house goes down the middle between the neighbor who does a lot of. Do we run out of planks? Oh. Who does a lot of yard work, and the neighbor who is angry. So, for the sake of names, we'll call the lady who yells a lot and I guess gets people in trouble a lot, is what I hear. We'll call her the angry lady. Oh, that was there because we were marking it as the edge of the bank. And then we'll call the neighbor next to her that does a lawn care all the time, the Mr. Lawn. So Miss Angry and Mr. Lawn. Speaking of that, the neighbor on the other side of Miss Angry yesterday was out to do his lawn. He had an electric lawnmower, so it wasn't very loud. But he was out there for a total of 3 minutes. That's how long it took him to mow his lawn. And it's the same size as the one behind me that takes hours to mow his lawn. So, yeah, I'm thinking there's something else going on with why he's out there forever mowing his lawn. Yeah, we're not going to cut down these. Are these not? Oh, okay. And these aren't marked. So anyway, the neighbor who actually lives next to me on one side, we'll call her Miss, I don't know, Miss Christian maybe, because the way she introduced herself to me whenever we first met was she said that she was crazy for Christ, and has all these like Christian statues and stuff in her yard. She has quite in her backyard. She has quite the garden, lots of plants. Grows lots of edible stuff. Grows strawberries, lettuce, all kinds of stuff like that, which is good. It's good to have your own, like vegetable, fruit garden, so that you're not having to rely on industrial farming for your food. Anyway, she's the one who would feed the birds, and there's a ordinance that says no feeding of wildlife, which includes birds. So, you would think that would mean like no feeding the bears and the mountain lions and the skunks and that kind of stuff, which we have plenty of. Not that long ago. Well, I think 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, we're going to run out of planks. All right, let's, we can say empty these. And instead, let's put no metal. I have, yeah, I do have alders. All right. Let's make this a priority build. Yeah, a couple weeks ago there was a bear spotted on Main Street, and there was a mountain lion spotted on the edge of the woods, in the neighborhood on the edge of the woods. So yeah, we get them. So you think, that's what it's referring to when it says don't be feeding the wildlife, but it includes birds. And she used to feed birds, but I guess and so there'd be lots of bird sounds, and I guess that bothered Miss Mean, and she complained, and so there was an order given that we were to stop feeding it birds and wild animals, etc. It was given to the entire neighborhood, even though I think it was only my neighbor, Miss Saint. I forget what I just said. I was going to call her. Call her Miss Saint. Even though I think it was only her that was feeding the birds. So made her cry. Went for my walk one day, and one of our other neighbors, Jerry. Oh, shouldn't say names. That's not his name. I just made that name up. He was out there talking to Miss Saint, and she was crying, sitting on her porch. So I stopped and talked with him, and she was upset about the birds, and that this lady, Miss Mean's, always complaining about everybody and everything, and she always gets her way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the story behind, because I think I'd mentioned she'd made my neighbor cry. Interesting thing, though, is that now that she isn't feeding the birds, I get more bird poop on my car. They didn't used to have any bird poop on my car. Now I get all kinds of bird poop on my car. So I don't know if they're like taking revenge. Or like maybe it was the neighbor here who complained, took all our food away or something. So we're gonna poop in his car. But I don't know. Maybe they're pooping on everybody's cars. I don't know. Or it could be that our local witch has sicked the birds on me. Oh, I forgot I was going to ask my one neighbor if he knew what kind of birds we have. I don't know if they're like just very large blackbirds, or if they're ravens, or I know they're not crows, but we have like these really big blackbirds. So I'm thinking they must be ravens. And we have lots of them. I was going to ask my neighbor, he's into birds, if he knew what they were. Probably should look them up online. But my theory is we have a local witch. And you can always tell when she's out walking around, because all you got to do is walk outside and see where the ravens are. We'll say they're ravens. There'll be like just a bunch of ravens grouped together, and you'll know that, oh, okay, well, that's where she's at. They follow her around. It's very weird. Okay, let's empty this. But she walks, down the street that crosses the street that I'm on. So there are times whenever I go out for my walk that we cross paths of each other, and I always say hello. I'm always trying to, I always try to be friendly. So I always say hello. She never really answers me or acknowledges me, except for once, which was a shock to me that she actually responded. So I know she's aware of me. So why do I think she's a witch? Well, I don't know where she lives, but at the end of the road that crosses mine, it leads into the forest, and she's always heading that direction or coming from that direction. Now, there is a neighborhood down there, but we'll ignore the fact that maybe she lives in the neighborhood. We'll assume that she's going down the road to go to the forest, to her witch hut in the forest. And she's always pushing a baby carriage in which she has a cat that rides in the baby carriage, unless it's out walking next to the baby carriage or next to her. And whenever the cat is out of the baby carriage, it's on a leash. Now, it's not on a leash when it's in the carriage, but it is whenever it's out walking. And it's a strange cat. It really is. I think it has very strange behavior. It doesn't act like cats that I'm used to seeing. 1.4. Okay, we need 4,000 more science. Okay, now we want to put some supply drops up here. So yeah, since she's aware of me, I figure, well, maybe she's sicked her birds on me, and that's why I'm getting all the bird poop in my car. Like she's like thinking, nobody ever talks to me, and yet he's always saying hello or something. So there must be something nefarious about this guy. We'll curse him with bird poop. That's my theory. But anyway, so I was talking about the cat. So her cat, she talks to like as if it's a person, like she's actually having a conversation. So it's not just saying some things to the cat, like stay in the car or stay on the road or whatever. It's like she will be saying, I told you that such and such and such and such. Yes, I know, but I told you that such and such and such. So, yeah. So, and it's a black cat. Really? Oh, okay. Because they're cutting that down finally. Still have wood to pick up. You don't. Okay, now you really don't have anything to do in range. Yeah, so with the birds fall, the blackbirds following her around, and the black cat that she talks to like as if it's her familiar, and the fact that she seems to go towards the woods, like she lives in the woods. I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking maybe she's our local witch, and maybe that's why there's more bird poop on my car because she found out where I lived and has been sicking her birds to poop in my car. I don't know. Conspiracy theories. Anyway, that's all the time we have left for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. And until next time, have a terrific day.